Cold flame glowing, she rise through the pain. Shadowborn warrior. Cold flame burning, she rise through the pain. Fire in her veins, Catherine turned every loss in a game. ILCA got her moving like she running a chain.
Lost about twice, still learning how to take. Life tried to crush her, that was a mistake. Now she tread like a boss, but now she tread like a boss, but started from the mud, yeah, life here rough. 2 jobs, young, that child was tough. How she started grinding, the chicken farm stuff. She was built different, only called her be tough. I'm at 17, but her courage stayed prime. Nursing school queen with a GPA shine. Held premies in her hands with a warrior mind. But the wheelchair twice trying to push her beyond. Lost her home, lost her horses, storms on repeat. 5 years pain, had her locked in defeat. Crypto came once, then a scam cut deep. She rose from the ash, she would've fight too steep. Grandkids battles, but she still don't fold. Grandkids watch her rise with a heart made bold. Found out, say truth, finally told. On the trade, got certified, story turn gold.
Cold flame burning, she rise through the pain. Shadowborn warrior with the fire in her veins. Catherine turned every loss in a gain. ILCA got her moving like she running. Cold flame burning, she rise through the pain. Shadowborn warrior with fire in her veins. Catherine turned every loss in a gain. ILCA got her moving like she running a chain. I walk through hellfire, pain on my skin. Wheelchair bound twice, but I still rose again. Lost dreams, lost home, felt the walls closing. But I kept one spark underneath my chin. Crypto brought me once, had to learn from the snakes. Getting out everything, left with heartbreak shakes. But I studied every loss, every risk it takes. Now I see through the lies that the truth translates.
See, all age nights trying to fight through fire, but the warrior in me kept lifting me high. Found out, say, plugged into the wire, learn charts, learn keys, got the skills I require. Diamond in the making with a soul unbroke. Every setback turn the flame to smoke. Now I'm certified, let the whole world choke. I'm a queen from the shadows, hit the rise, I spoke.
Every money whether not show I'm down. Never shoot down to the pain I smoke. Never certified, let the whole world choke. I'm a queen from the shadows, hit the rise, I spoke. Cold flame burning, she rise through the pain. Shadowborn warrior with fire in her veins. Catherine turned every loss in a gain. ILCA got her moving like she running. Cold flame burning, she rise through the pain. Shadowborn warrior with fire in her veins. Catherine turned every loss in a gain. ILCA got her moving like she running a chain. Cold flame, still burning.
All right. Let me switch this around. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles, California. It's a little chilly out here, actually, today. This is my first day back going to the gym since we've been in Las Vegas all last week. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are doing good. In fact, this is my first live since Vegas last week. Speaking of, you want to be at the Bitcoin Expo next year. We're planning on having a booth set up there. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. It's not going to be in in Las Vegas. So we're planning for that next year. So I'm really excited about that. We got some things happening way before then. Like, for example, we got coming up the next e-estate event is going to be in Tampa on May 30th. And then we got DC, Washington, D.C. That's the next major big event. We will be there on June 13th. And then I'm going to be taking off for a couple of weeks. I'm going on a cruise to celebrate not only my birthday, but some of my Morehouse brothers. We're all turning 50 years old this summer. 50. So we're going to be at celebrating that, going to the Bahamas and whatnot. So I'll be gone for a few weeks and then back in Vegas in July. So a lot's been happening since I've been gone and haven't gone live outside of Vegas. And people, you guys should see my inbox. My inbox is blown up about BG Wealth. And what do I have to say about it? And can I make a comment about it? Do I want to do anything about it? See, here's the thing, guys. What I'm not going to do. This is not going to be an I told you so. This is not going to be me bashing any of the people in BG Wealth or any of that. This is also not going to be me using the downfall of BG Wealth as an attempt to promote what it is that I'm doing. Quite the opposite. I'm actually going to give a free lesson, some free information that will protect you in the future with any decision and plans that you decide to make moving forward in the digital space. People actually pay me a lot of money for this information. I'm going to give it to you for free. So I was watching earlier this morning, my man James R. Davis. He did a live, and I think he did that live yesterday. I didn't see it until today, where he was talking about this is the last time he's speaking on BG Wealth. And he used an example that, you know, in our early days, there's not one single person that has been involved in the digital space that has not got caught up in some form of, whether it's a scam, rug pull, or even something that might be considered legal, but the owners of the company did something crazy. Not one. If somebody tells you that they haven't, they're lying to you. Every single one of us has. And how to avoid, you know, when these things pop up, knowing what's the right thing to do and what's not. First, let me tell you that if you decide to do anything that is not traditional, anything that's not traditional, it is very, very risky, and you have a greater chance of it failing for one way or another, no matter what it is. Anything not traditional. So you need to know that going in, that there's a greater chance of this failing. If you look at the network marketing industry in general, 90% of the people there, even in the legitimate opportunities, don't make any significant money. And those are the ones that's been around for 30, 40, 50 years. So you need to know this, have the right mindset going in, that 90% of the people are not going to make any money. And then if you're in the digital space, it's a high chance and probability that it might be a scam. It might be operating illegally. The owners may have any intent of it not being long-term anyway, and that you're going to lose all your money. Knowing that going in, does that mean that you should be scared and avoid the industry completely and not take any risk? No. Those risk takers are the ones that become the future millionaires. But understand that they failed more times than they succeeded. The reason why they became millionaires is in spite of these obstacles, because they kept moving forward anyway. So first, congratulations that you even made the decision to take a risk. Now let's talk about the mistake you probably made. Let me go back to, well, I'll say this, because James Davis talked about the red flags he saw with BG Wealth. And I'm not going to talk about, you know, all the different red flags. I have been approached with that opportunity, just like OneCoin and all the others, and Hyperverse and all those bullshit opportunities. And I said no. And it's funny to me, when somebody like me says no, instead of the person asking, wow, why would Brandon, who's been in this for 10 years, who has his own company, who has other companies and institutions and colleges using his education, why would he say no? Instead, what I get is more pressure. You need to join this. People are making money. Just because people are making money in something doesn't make it legal. It doesn't mean that it's going to last. Everybody makes money in a scam in the beginning until the rug is pulled. So I've been hounded about BG Wealth for years. Well, what, 2 years or so? You need to do this. So what I will share, one of the main reasons why I said no before I even had to look it up. When I said, what are they doing? They're copy trading. I immediately said no. Now, does that mean all copy trading is bad? No. I just understand how the system works. I'm a trader. I know how to trade because I'm educated in this space. And I know. One of the first things that I was taught, and I see Tim Miller's on here, so I got to give him a shout out because he was my sponsor in a company called iCoin Pro, which people called a scam as well. But one of the things that I was taught early on was that when you're trading, you do not want to be the whale. You want to respond to what whales are doing. You do not want to be the one moving the market. And at those days, you never trade on any single trade with more than $10,000. Because if you did more than 10,000, now the market is reacting to you rather than you reacting to the market. So once I learned that part, then I was able to figure out my trades. Because not only am I trading against other people, and if you understand trading, you have winners, you have losers. Everybody can't be a winner when it comes to trading. Okay? Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Your job is to make sure that you're not the one losing. So you're betting against other people, just like the stock market. So you don't want to be moving it. You got bots out there too that you gotta contend with, and you got those that are doing arbitraging. One exchange against the other. So it's a skill set that you want to learn. And I learned the skill set. And so when they tell me that they're putting a copy trade model on a network marketing company where you're making money by recruiting people, automatically, hell no. Want to know why? If everybody is copying and doing the same trade, you now become the whales and you're moving the... Yeah, James is starting to rub off on me. I got to watch my language. You're starting to move the market. And if you've got thousands and hundreds of thousands of people copying the same freaking trade, you're not making money. It's impossible. You're moving the market. Copy trading works when it's done in small groups and it's private. That's the only way that's going to work. So based on that, I did not need to look any further. I did not need to see, oh, are they actually doing any trading? Is it real? Who are the owners? I stopped right there, red stop. I knew it's not going to last long term. The bigger they get, the faster it's going to fall. I did a live maybe a year and a half ago saying exactly what I'm saying right now, because I got pissed off because some guy was in my inbox and he wouldn't let up about this BG wealth sharing and all this and how people are making all this money. And Brandon, man, just put 10,000 in it and just let it ride. What? No. And I'm definitely not going to try to recruit. And I said this 2 years ago, the only thing as far as if you're dealing with the direct selling space, the only thing I'm looking at, can I make money off the product itself without having to recruit and build a team? If your opportunity is requiring new money to pay old money, that's a Ponzi. No matter what they say they're doing. Someone wanted to partner with me, pulling a Ponzi scheme, and wanted to use my crypto education to make it look legit. No. Now, listening to what James Davis was talking about, had I looked even further, hell no, that they actually didn't have a real exchange that was doing anything. You know, he brought up BitConnect in the early days at MTI. Let me tell you, do you know that those two actually was doing trading? At least BitConnect actually was doing some trading. I'm hearing BT Wealth, there wasn't even any real trading going on. Come on now. Now, let me tell you something else too. People say, but if you do your homework and you research and vet a project, you would avoid that. Most people don't know how to vet projects right in the first place. And you can do all the vetting in the world. And I'm going to use MTI as an example because I was in MTI. I vetted that from top to bottom. How extensive did I vet it? Number one, I personally knew the owner of the company and had worked with them in the past. The owner was married with a daughter. I personally was on Zoom with the principals of that company. I personally saw the bank accounts. I personally saw the trading that they were doing because they were doing live trading. I personally was on a Zoom with their legal representatives. In fact, they had the largest firm in the country. I personally saw not one, but 2 audits. An internal audit and a third-party external audit on the company. You can't get no more vetting than that. It was legit. Where the heat was coming from was the government. And the government wanted to, hey man, these people making money, and you know, we're not regulating this thing. And they constantly wanted to look into what they were doing. Again, they had the largest legal firm in the nation representing them. But here's what happened. The owner of the company, the guy I knew personally, once they got $500 million, this fool decided to jump ship. And he ran off to Brazil, left his wife and daughter for some other woman, and took all the money to another country and tried to disappear. You can't predict that. All right? But money makes people do crazy and strange things, and the whole thing came crashing down. So even if you vet a company, there's still a chance of it not performing the way you desire it to go. So let me give you some free consultation lesson here for free. You don't let something like this dissuade you from the space completely. It's a learning lesson. And I've got 4 rules I live by in the digital space that has allowed me to survive the good, the bad, the downright ugly. Lesson number 1, education is key. It is everything. When somebody comes to me and says, Brandon, I got $50,000, you know, do you got any platforms or something out there I could put some money on? The first thing out of my mouth is get educated. Get educated first. Because if you're educated, you don't need to ask me that question. You guys understanding that, what I'm saying here? If you're educated, you don't need to ask me that question. You'll know what to do. Number 2, never use resources you cannot afford to lose. I don't care what it is, the greatest thing next to sliced bread. I trust nothing. Even anything that I'm involved in, I don't trust it long term. I don't. You can have all the good intentions, but you can switch up on me in a year or 2. Does that mean I run and avoid all of you? No. I operate like this. If you fail by 90%, can I still make a profit off the 10%? And if the answer is yes, I cautiously move forward. I'm conservative in this space. I do not suggest you use your Social Security money, your rent money, your life savings, you get a personal loan, you do all the shenanigans. But I mean, the stuff I heard from BG Wealth is horrifying. People were putting up their house, getting a second mortgage, their life savings, because somebody else was making all this money, and they're trying to, skip ahead of the line. That's what it really comes down to. People don't want to go through the learning process, the skills it takes to make that kind of money. They want to skip ahead of the line and figure I can shave off 10 years if I just throw in my life savings on this. People get desperate and greedy, and you will lose 9.9% of the time. 9 times out of 10. So do not use money you cannot afford to lose. Number 3, and this is so important, make your money back as fast as possible. Figure out how long will it take for you to make your money back. Don't get greedy and start doing some crazy stuff in between. Make your money back. So if something goes sideways 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, you didn't lose your money. You lost your future income, but you didn't lose what you started with. So you don't go back to your wife talking about, I just blew our savings account. I just blew our retirement money. I blew our kids' college fund. That ain't a good conversation you want to have. Make your money back. Now, once you make your money back, and here's also a lesson that I've learned. In the digital space, it normally takes, no matter the platform, anywhere between 4 months to 10 months to break even, depending on whatever platform you're using. That's your red zone. That's your biggest risk time. That 4 month to 10 month period, maybe a year. Everything after that is gravy. It's profit. Rule number 4. This is my last rule. What is your game plan? Where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months? Michael Aluko trying to call me. Where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? What is your ultimate goal? Once you know what your goal is, you work backwards to figure out what vehicle are you going to be utilizing to achieve this goal. And you can be multiple vehicles if need be. The vehicle is not what's important. The goal is. And sometimes you got to switch vehicles. See, what's going to happen because of this BG Wealth, you're going to have a lot of people who are not educated in this space, who are now going to have a bad taste in their mouth about the entire industry. And going to say, I'm never getting involved with nothing crypto again, not realizing that your entire world is about to be digital, whether you like it or not. Remember what my river of money 3 industries are. You don't have a choice on this. It's happening anyway. We're in the wild, wild west right now. And you have an opportunity to get rich, stinky, filthy rich right now if you know how to make the right moves. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So following these rules does not guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. So even if you do get caught up in some bullshit like BG Wealth, you will still come out on top when and if it collapses. Does this make sense? Those of you who came on late, you're going to want to watch this from the beginning. Watch the replay. So my heart goes out to all of the victims of BG Wealth I can't say you weren't warned, because if you're following me, I've said plenty. Those of you that have been in my inbox, and here's a warning, and I got to take this from James Davis too. If you are in my inbox telling me that I need to join BG Wealth, but not once did you figure out, you know what, maybe I need to figure out what Brandon's doing and be a part of that, you better not come in my inbox about any other opportunity. I better not hear from you about anything else. Unless it's about, Brandon, I think I need to get educated. I think I need to join ILCA so that I can learn what it is that you know and why you are able to avoid a BG Wealth, a OneCoin, a Hyperverse, a Hyperlink, any of those bullshit projects. I'm not in it for a reason. Does that mean that I'm 100%? No, I've been in some bullshit projects too. But let me tell you something. Even though I might have lost money in those projects, I never lost my money in those projects. Did you hear what I just said there? Let me repeat that for those of you in the back. Even though I lost money in those projects, I never lost my money in those projects. Some of you will get what I'm saying. Because I followed my 4 rules. I have made far more money than I've lost, but I've lost more money than most of you have made on your jobs. But I keep moving forward. So with that, that's all I wanted to say on the BG Wealth. Again, I don't need to talk about BG Wealth while trying to promote something else. That's not what this is about. I can care less what you do. I want to make sure that whatever it is that you do, you follow those 4 rules, you'll be all right. Will there be more BG Wealths out there? Absolutely. Will I end up being a part of anything that either gets shut down, turns out to be a Ponzi? Probably. Probably. I can't guarantee what's going to happen. It'll be slim that happens to me, but things are not in my control. But I can guarantee I ain't going to lose everything if I get caught up in something else. But I'm willing to take risks, and that's why on the middle of a day on a Tuesday, I'm about to go to the gym, take my nap, and do a live later on tonight or a presentation rather than being on a 9-to-5 job. There's also the rewards at the same time. I'm willing to take the risks, but I do so conservatively, cautiously, and smart, not greedy and blinded by following somebody that I trust. That's something else I will never be doing also. There have been opportunities that I got involved in simply because I trusted the individual bringing it to me. Now, I don't blame them for that opportunity going sideways. I don't blame them for it. I blame myself for not doing my own due diligence and being lazy and just saying if that person's involved, then it must be something good. So in the future, I won't be doing that again. You know, I had a trusted crew of people that I kind of, will listen to what Whenever I bet on myself, I win more times than I lose. So with that, guys, keep your heads up. Learn from this lesson. Don't let it set you back, because this is just the beginning. This industry can allow you to recover all that you've already lost. I still got people crying about MTI. Vara, Brandon, do we lose all our money? What are you talking about? 4 years ago, do you know how much money I've made in 4 years while you're still pining about that one? I made millions since then. What are you talking about? You still waiting on that? Man, that's gone. Move on. That's the cost of doing business. Now you've learned from it. That, in fact, when I lose money, I look at it as that's the cost that I paid to learn the lesson, not that I lost anything. I had to spend thousands of dollars to make millions. That's how I look at it. I'm about to go into the gym. It's gonna hurt. That resistance is what builds your muscles. People don't want to get hurt for nothing. But anyways, that's all I got to say about that. I ain't here to promote nothing. Just to give some free information that I already know 90% of you was going to ignore. But at least I did my part. And at least I'm on record that's saying I shared this. Just like I did when I heard about BG Well for the very first time. And I think even the last time I said something publicly was this year. Either January or February, it was right before I went to Miami. I specifically spoke on the copy trading in detail. Traders know what's up. All right? So you don't get caught in that bullshit again. All right, that is it. I'm about to go to my gym, take my nap, and I will be back tonight. Wait. What's happening tonight? Tonight's Tuesday. Diamond class tonight. I got Diamond class tonight. We're talking about stable coins. So with that, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Brandon Ivey out. Bye-bye.